Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit the subscribe button. There you go, right down there. If you want to be among the first to hear my weekly takes, NFL, college football, more, right there.
All right, instant reaction on the Texans thrashing the Cleveland Browns. I had said I picked Houston to win. I said Joe Flacco had become a better story than he was a quarterback. He had 8 picks in 5 games before today. Now he's got 10 picks in 6 starts. Flacco was a really good story for a dysfunctional organization, stepping in on their 4th quarterback. Stefanski doing a marvelous job, but he's not a great quarterback at this point. He always threw a lot of picks. He was generally very good in the wild card round. Big, strong guy, big arm. But I don't think anybody ever thought he was, a great quarterback. He was a notch below the Big Bens and the Bradys and the Mannings, his contemporaries. But the obvious story today is C.J. Stroud. And it's interesting about C.J. Stroud. So when he came out, I tend to lean on my scouts and my sources. And so one of my guys that I don't consider him a source, he's just a friend, Lance Zierlein, works at NFL.com, and he's a scout. And he had said C.J. Stroud's comp is Jared Goff. And I always felt with Jared Goff, he's really, really good. I think he's a top 10, 12 quarterback, but he's not good enough to overcome nonsense. And so I thought it was a good comp. I thought C.J. Stroud had some Jared Goff abilities, but wasn't good enough to overcome nonsense. Well, what's really interesting about that comp, so Jared Goff, first year, was a mess with the Rams. But in his second year, when they got him a left tackle, Andrew Whitworth and Sean McVay, 28 touchdowns, 7 picks, and a 62% completion percentage. C.J. Stroud's first year numbers, 23 touchdowns, 5 picks, 64% completion percentage. The difference is C.J. Stroud inherited a great left tackle as a rookie, and he also inherited a really good coach in DeMeco Ryans. So Goff was a mess until he got the right coach and the right protection left tackle. So C.J. Stroud didn't have to go through that year. But their numbers are very similar. The first time Jared Goff had like legitimate protection and a good coach, he put up similar numbers. And so I think C.J.'s been terrific. Obviously better than most would predict. But I think what's important as I watch C.J. Stroud, obviously if you get the coach and the quarterback right, you're not going to lose that many games in the NFL. Even if you don't love the coach, if you love the quarterback and you like the coach, you're going to be a playoff team most of the time. But what C.J. Stroud or guys like Andrew Luck create is clarity. You going to argue for Justin Fields watching C.J. Stroud? Justin Fields in his 3rd year and C.J. Stroud, Daniel Jones, these people that argue for their like 2nd-tier quarterbacks, it's like, I don't want to hear about drops. You know who had the 2nd most drops in the NFL? C.J. Stroud. Number 1 was Patrick Mahomes. Everybody has receivers that drop the ball. Is that when you get a C.J. Stroud, it creates clarity for all these fan bases and GMs to go, well, this guy can win with an imperfect roster. Now, I do think Houston, and I said this during the offseason, I thought they had a great summer. I thought they had a great draft. So C.J., this may have been a messy organization, but Nick Caserio from New England, sharp guy. DeMeco, I was told 2 years before he became a head coach, he was only at San Francisco for 3 or 4 years. They moved him from controller to position coach, coordinator, boom, he's out. But I think CJ ensures, if DeMeco Ryan stays, that they're going to be interesting for a decade plus. And that's all you can hope for. Super Bowls, who knows? Jared Goff got to one, may never get to another. Who knows? A lot of that is circumstance. Is your team healthy? Who are you facing? Are you at home? Now Houston has to go on the road, and the quality of play and the quality of quarterback should go up. But Stroud is a terrific player. And I was counting this morning, only about half the league has a franchise quarterback. Now, I think Caleb Williams will come in and Drake May feel like both those guys could. But right now, and I don't know if I counted Baker Mayfield. I did count Tua. I did count Derek Carr. I did count Kirk Cousins off an injury. I think I counted Baker Mayfield too. I only have 17 NFL teams out of 32 that have franchise quarterbacks, people that they could lean on and say, this is our guy. I don't believe I counted Geno Smith. I didn't, because I think Seattle wants to upgrade. But, before C.J. Stroud hit and Jordan Love hit, You're looking at like half the league. Now it's slightly above half the league has a franchise quarterback. So it's hard. I just don't think fans, I think you mostly get it, but it is nobody. I knew two scouts that really like CJ Stroud, and I have texted them throughout the course of the year, and they're like, we didn't think he was this good. We didn't see this. And so what you have to do with quarterback play, you cross your fingers, you look at traits. And the thing that jumps out with CJ Stroud, he doesn't have a lot of juice athletically. He doesn't run around a lot, but he is effortlessly and unmistakably accurate. He just throws a beautiful, accurate ball. He doesn't miss very often. He missed on one deep ball today, but the receiver stopped running, so I don't necessarily blame that entirely on him. But he's just kind of a quiet, confident kid. He can throw setting his feet. When he missed a throw, didn't miss a throw. He had an incompletion near the goal line in the first quarter. I think it was first quarter. And it's a nondescript play that won't get discussed, but he rolled out to the right near the goal line and the ball was batted down. But running to his right, he threw a ball low. Nobody could get it. As they always say in the NFL, near the goal line, throw it low. At the end of the end zone, the back of the end zone, keep it high so it doesn't get intercepted. But his ability to move, quickly roll, and throw it in this little football-sized space. Now, it was knocked away by a Cleveland corner, but it was literally a perfect throw in this small little area that you don't direct many passes in, down in the dirt. And that's a play that it doesn't end up in the box score. It's an incompletion. Nobody cares about it. Nobody discusses it. But he makes it look so easy on screens, drag routes. The stuff that should be easy, for him, it's like Mahomes. It's just layup drill time. So it's exciting for Houston. They got a great baseball franchise, and now they've got a star quarterback. And, he's obviously right now playing as a top 10 quarterback. But, I like Kyler Murray much more than most people. I like Jared Goff much more than most people. But Trevor Lawrence regressed this year. Maybe I've been too high on him. I've always thought of him as a top 7 quarterback. I like Herbert, think he's a top 5 or 6 guy. Again, he has to get a legitimate coach. But I think you can say with some confidence, CJ Stroud, his ability to sit in the pocket, throw accurately, his size, his mechanics, he looks like a top 10 guy. Maybe near the bottom of it, but looks like a top 10 guy. I don't think that's being hyperbolic or overstating anything. He's just a big, tall, accurate, easy thrower. He's got a good, solid body. It's fun. This stuff is fun. Once you stop worrying about being right and concentrate more on getting it right, sports is a lot of fun. I love making predictions. I thought the Jared Goff comp was reasonable, but left tackle, coach, they hitting a couple of draft picks at wide receiver. Texans are a fun team. It's not easy to get in over 40 points in a playoff game. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, they're a bit of a mess. I don't even want to talk about Cleveland. I mean, I like their coach and I like their GM, but the Deshaun Watson situation, I'm sitting there. You know who I was really thinking about watching this game beyond the Texans was the Pittsburgh Steelers. So just in the AFC now, you have CJ Stroud, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert with a legitimate coach, Trevor Lawrence, and Pittsburgh sitting there with Kenny Pickett trying to convince themselves, yeah, that's the guy, Kenny Pickett. Mason Rudolph's look better than Kenny Pickett. So again, that goes into the Daniel Jones, Justin Fields. You're trying to convince yourself stuff that's just not true. For CJ Stroud to be this confident, this accurate, and this effortless, look at your quarterback. What year is he in? And it's not like the Texans. I mean, a year ago, we were laughing at them. They were the most dysfunctional organization in sports. Now, they hit on some right people, upstairs, sidelines, quarterback. But, I mean, CJ Stroud, look around if you're the Steelers. That's another quarterback in the AFC. Big Ben retires, and it's like there was a long stretch between Bradshaw and Big Ben. A lot of years without Super Bowls. And when I look at CJ Stroud, I'm like, oh, that's just another really good quarterback teams like the Steelers have to get through. And the other thing that's encouraging is, so with CJ Stroud and Jordan Love both hitting this year, Jordan Love later in the season, we have 2 more franchise quarterbacks. And you know it and I know it. Nothing is worse than watching football in the NFL or college with bad quarterback play. So it looks like we got 2 more young franchise quarterbacks, not even in their prime yet. Jordan Love and CJ Stroud, probably a year away from their prime going into it. It's pretty cool. Fun opening game, 1-0. Let's go watch the Chiefs and Dolphins.